We are all familiar with the ninja moment, which is a moment that leads to a violent altercation between two black men over trivial nonsense. A dispute as small as stepping on sneakers can lead to someone losing their life, and I feel like the modern day embodiment of a ninja moment is Aaron the plumber, because that man is always ready to fight no matter how insignificantly he gets offended. I've even seen news articles about a man ending another man over spitting on his car.
Why would he do that to me? I don't even know him.
In August, a jury convicted Smith of killing Gilbert Cerna for spitting out of a truck window. At his sentencing today, Smith spent about 15 minutes retrying this case and going over details of the crime. Prosecutors say last May, Cerna was a passenger in this utility truck when he spat out the window and it landed on Smith's black BMW. Jeffrey Hunter, who was driving Cerna, remembers Smith confronting Cerna. The two argued, and then Smith returned with a knife.
The Boondocks covers the issues of violence, pride, and conflict within black communities throughout this episode, and touches on themes which make the viewer ask themselves the question: how much is your reputation really worth? Is it worth taking another man's life over? So sit back, relax, and leave a like on this video as we cover the Boondocks Season 1 Episode 4, which documents Granddad's fight. For more analysis videos on the Boondocks, please subscribe. And now let's get into analyzing the ninja moment.
Watch where you walking. Hey, what you say,
Watch closely. You're about to experience a moment. Webster defines the nigger moment as a moment when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical Negro male.
What did you say? Hey, squeeze it.
Causing him to act in an illogical, self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigger. Moments are unpredictable.
Hey, wait, man, wait. This is stupid. Hey, you right, dawg. Look, let's put the guns away and go on about our business. Freeze!
But they all end up bad. If they had their own category, nigger moments would be the third leading killer of black men behind pork chops and FEMA. It's a fact. Now let's see how a nigger moment affects a white man.
Watch where you walking, bitch.
What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white.
Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
So the first thing we see in this episode is these brothers getting aggressive with each other and eventually realizing what they're doing is dumb until they unfortunately get shot by the police. And I've had so many thoughts about this scene, but I'm gonna just leave it to y'all to debate and interpret within the comments. As much as it is sad that they eventually came to an understanding, they still committed a crime because any one of those stray bullets could have ended up hitting somebody and unintentionally killing that person. So because they committed this crime of discharging their firearms, the police showed up and ended up killing them. Realizing that she committed a crime doesn't make it any less of a crime, but the manner in which the police showed up and ended these individuals makes me feel uncomfortable because they didn't even ask any questions. They just showed up and killed them. And perhaps this scene is social commentary on the over-aggression of the police. Instead of the police telling them to drop their weapons or to stop what they're doing or even trying to arrest them, their first response was to shoot them on sight immediately. I don't know if this is regular police procedure, but I just feel like showing up and shooting people without even trying to arrest them first is kinda crazy. But as I said, when it comes to this aspect of the scene, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think that last part of the scene could be commentary on how police are just over aggressive. Shoot first, ask questions later. So Huey lists ninja moments as the third highest killer of black Americans, as they always end up with you smoking your ops, you getting smoked by your ops, and if both of you don't manage to take each other out, the police will come through and take both of y'all out. The second highest killer would be pork chops, which obviously insinuates soul food and unhealthy diets. It is no secret that this food leads to medical complications such as high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Lastly, Huey lists FEMA, and I would guess this is due to FEMA's poor response to helping the victims of Hurricane Katrina. FEMA has also faced backlash for allegedly having poor response for helping black communities in times of crisis. The thing about FEMA is it is an agent of the government, so I think Huey is indirectly saying that the government as a whole is the biggest op to black communities. I could go on about systematic racism and how it's linked to this, and how the judicial system as a whole is set up to keep black communities in a perpetual cycle of instability, with how schools and prisons are set up, and we can even look at procedures like redlining, which are literally set up to keep black people down. But if I had to go in depth on that, that would have to be a whole other separate video. The last thing about this scene which stood out to me is the white person's response to the ninja moment. All he said was, "Wait a minute, I'm white." Maybe at the surface level this could be simply explained explained by the fact that you need 2 ninjas in order to have a ninja moment, and since he isn't a ninja, he can't participate in a ninja moment. But maybe the Caucasian understands that he gains nothing by trying to prove how tough he is, or he has an understanding of how the system works and is just overall more rational than the ninja by simply walking away. A theory my homie presented to me was the fact that he already has white privilege, so every system in America is already geared towards his benefit, so he somewhat sees himself as a superior in a sense. Or maybe perhaps the writers are simply trying to tell us that white people are just more rational than ninjas whenever it comes to minor inconveniences, not to be confused with major inconveniences like when ARs mix with schools. I'm talking minor, small things. I doubt a Caucasian would kill me for accidentally stepping on his shoes or even spitting on his car. A ninja, on the other hand, that's a whole other story. So already within the first minute of this episode, we are presented with so much social commentary about the overaggression of ninjas, the overaggression of the police, FEMA being inefficient, and soul food being a silent killer. And I really want to hear your ideas about what you guys think is going on in this intro scene of the episode. But after we have this scene as the audience, we are then introduced to the physical embodiment of the ninja moment, Stinkmeaner. And before I have a ninja moment, I need you guys to leave a like on this video. It really helps for the algorithm. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Boondocks videos. Episode 5 is coming next. And for only $1 a month, you can become a member of this channel and help it grow. For $5 a month, you do get exclusive videos and early access to videos. So if you want to help this channel out, please subscribe. And if you want to help a young black content creator by contributing $1 a month, hey man, you're helping me grow. You're literally helping a knee grow. Alright. Now with that being said, let us now look at the introductory scene of Stinkmeaner.
Every moment begins with the Without that key element, all you're left with is peace and quiet. Colonel H. Stinkmeaner is and always has been a cantankerous, ornery old man. He has spent his childhood disagreeing with most things, especially things involving happiness, unity, and kindness. Stinkmeaner got no pleasure seeing sunsets and trees, dolphins, or rainbows.
Man, this some old bull.
So, he didn't particularly mind when at age 15, he lost his sight to cancer.
At least I don't have to look at your glass no more.
Doctors gave him 3 years to live, so he dedicated those 3 years to spreading a lifetime of misery and hatred. Nobody knows how Stinkmeaner managed to live so long. He believed it was his love of hatred that kept him going.
Who in the hell parked in my space? That's like calling 1-800 collect an ass whooping. And no, that ain't no toll-free call.
Oh, look what you did to Dorothy. You better have insurance.
Yeah, you better have insurance. Ass whooping insurance, and you about to pay a deductible.
And just like that, my granddad was trapped in a moment. At this point, he can A, walk away and let insurance handle the damage to the car, or B, fight with a dumb, crazy blind. Let's see which one he chooses.
That's right. I backed into your car, Nyucker. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Oh, hell no. Granddad, let's this right now.
Hold up. I smell new shoes.
Oh, me.
Oh, what you mean?
I've said it before. Expensive sneakers are like $150 landmines. Step on one and boom! A perfectly rational black man can explode.
Yeah, they ain't new anymore, are they? Nigga.
And that spitting on you. You better hit him, Granddad. Hit him. Yeah, hit him. Oh, man. What happened?
My bad knee. Oh, no. My knee. My bad knee.
Oh, man. You lose all your pimp status.
This fight is over.
Stinkmeaner is literally just a shallow character who likes to cause chaos, kinda like Johnny Somali. He is a person who takes pride in inflicting any sort of pain on individuals, whether physical or verbal, and his ignorance exceeds his disability with him being blind. Like bro, how can a person be so ignorant that them being blind and old doesn't stop them from getting into a fight? What's interesting about this scene is that Robert was trying to calmly deal with Stinkmeaner until eventually Stinkmeaner brought Robert down to his level. Robert swung the first punch, missed, and ended up becoming a worldwide laughingstock.
I can't believe you got your ass kicked by a blind man, Granddad.
My knee went out. You know I got a bad knee.
Bad knee? That man had bad eyes. He couldn't see, Granddad. He beat you like a piñata.
No.
Yo, we can rig Granddad out for Mexican birthday parties. We can call him Señor Piñata. Hola, Señor Piñata.
Stop it, boy. Stop it.
Security cameras from the Woodcrest Square Mall captured a fight between a blind old man and an unidentified assailant following a parking dispute.
It's just local news.
CNN has now confirmed that it was this man, Robert Jebediah Freeman, who got beat up by a slightly older, significantly blinder gentleman. Police aren't pressing charges against Mr. Freeman. They say that ass whooping was punishment enough. We at CNN agree.
Granddad, I don't think you should watch this anymore.
El residente de Woodcrest, Robert Freeman, tiene un nuevo apodo. Señor Piñata. Oh, papi.
What happens next is that Huey has a nightmare that he's fighting a blind swordsman, thus making him come to the conclusion that the only way Robert lost to Stinkmeaner was because Stinkmeaner was a Zatoichi, the blind swordsman. Robert also gets sick and tired of the embarrassment and arranges to fight Stinkmeaner, but before I talk about that, can we please acknowledge how crazy this animation is of Huey's nightmare?
He knows of every move, yet he cannot see. As my mind fights to make sense of the impossible, he has turned my sight into a liability. He has no just cause to want my life. There is no forethought, no logic in his action. This isn't just any swordsman. This is the blind nigga samurai.
Granddad ignores all of Huey's advice, telling him not to go into the fight. And with Huey now having this nightmare and being convinced that Stinkmeaner is a Zatoichi, he then tells Robert about his incorrect analysis of Stinkmeaner. So Huey tells Robert that Stinkmeaner is a Zatoichi, and if he fails to beat Stinkmeaner, he will die. And this incorrect assessment possibly caused Robert to overtrain before their fight later in this episode.
I want you to see what you're up against. You remember the way he dodged your punch? Your enemy is the Zatoichi, the blind swordsman. His ears give him more information than all your senses put together. If you underestimate him, he will kill you. You must train.
I won't fail you. I'm not afraid.
Oh, you will be. You will be.
What comes next is the fight between Robert and Stinkmeaner, and because him and Huey incorrectly assessed Stinkmeaner as a Zatoichi, Robert ended up overtraining for this fight, and when they finally fight, Robert ends up unintentionally killing Stinkmeaner.
And as I watched Stinkmeaner move blindly around the ring, I had a terrifying realization. He wasn't a trained swordsman, and he didn't have super hearing. He was a blind old man who had just gotten lucky.
Granddad! Wait! No! Stop! Come on,
You know, we could all be reading a book right now.
Dang, Granddad, you don't have to kill him.
The episode ends with Robert earning the respect he so desperately craved, but it ended up being worthless, and he expressed severe remorse over his actions. His pride got the best of him and he ended up winning, but at what cost? This episode was a prolonged ninja moment due to the amount of extremes the characters jumped to without properly reasoning. Even though Huey tried to tell Granddad he shouldn't fight Stinkmeaner, he ignorantly assessed him as a Zatoichi, causing Robert to overtrain and eventually end up taking Stinkmeaner off the map. Like, let's sit back and think about this. Huey really had Granddad training to fight a blind old man. So you're telling me both Huey and Granddad didn't take a moment to pause and consider the fact that they're fighting an old man who definitely would not be agile at that age. And on top of all of that, he's also blind. You're training to fight a blind old man. Robert would have probably won this fight 10 times out of 10 without even needing to train. Like, for me personally, I've squabbled up and I've lost fights before. But now imagine if my friends tell me, yep, the only way you can win this fight is if you pull up with an RPG, and I don't stop to reason and think to myself, I don't need an RPG to win this fight. Yeah, I might need to train, but I don't need to bring a gun to the fight. If I trained hard enough, I could win the fight. But in Robert's case, he didn't even need to train. But Huey had this man training like he was gonna be fighting for his life, which ended up making him way too overpowered. Like, these guys jumped to the conclusion that Stinkmeaner was an S-tier samurai swordsman. Yeah, I might squabble up with somebody, but I won't make the assessment that the only reason why I lost to the scuffle was because I was fighting against a heavyweight boxer. And all of this echoes the main theme of this episode being a ninja moment. Huey is as caught up in the ninja moment as Robert and Stinkmeaner, because for as smart as he is as a character, he is ironically too blind to see his major involvement in Stinkmeaner's death. So I will be doing an analysis video of every episode of the Boondocks from season 1 to season 4, so if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel because I will be covering episode 5 next. Also, leave a like on this video, it really helps for the algorithm, and for $1 a month you can become a member of this channel to support its growth, and for $5 a month you can get additional perks such as early uploads and exclusive members only content. I want to say thank you to you guys for watching the video up until this point, and let me know your thoughts and analysis within the comments. Ultimately, this episode ended with every character being ignorant to a certain extent. Stinkmeaner is just an ignorant person, so it's in his nature. Robert became ignorant by wanting to take him on in a fight, and Huey was ignorant because he jumped to the extreme conclusion that Stinkmeaner was a Zatoichi, and all of this ignorance feeds into the ninja moment, which is a moment of extreme ignorance. But the thing about this episode was, it wasn't just a moment. This ignorance from every character ended up leading to someone's death. But hey, I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. I hope you have an amazing day and expect more videos just like this. Peace.